Your boy, Jep like the one and only here with,
An eclipse.
and today we're going to be talking about Avengers Infinity War. What's interesting about this discussion is that Winslow has not actually seen the film,
Can we talk about Twilight Eclipse?
so he's going to actually be learning about the movie as we discuss it, which I know is not the normal thing for this kind of video. Do you mind if I close that door over there in case there's someone who hasn't seen it, they don't want to hear a spoiler by accident?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Twilight Eclipse has been a big deal for a while in the media, and honestly, if we're going to be talking about it today, you just gotta do the respectful thing and close the door. I mean, ever since I never saw it, I think people really needed to know what was up with it. So can you tell me, I mean, team Jacob or Team Edward, like what you got?
So when it comes to Infinity War and Twilight style teams,
Right.
you're gonna probably either be going Team Thanos or Team half the universe.
Right. I'm
So-
probably going team Jacob. I mean, fucking werewolves are cool, but not mud werewolves.
Scavenger said, "I don't want to go. You don't want to go where?" So here's more information about Infinity War because you haven't seen it. So I'm gonna kind of tell you about the
I
movie.
haven't seen Twilight either.
So Infinity War is split into a multiple storyline film. So one story is Thanos is trying to collect all the Infinity Stones,
Like me.
and he has a group of they're called the Black Order, and they're just a group of people who are super loyal to Thanos who are trying to help him find all the stones.
Are any of them black?
Are any of them black? They're all aliens.
Are any of them black aliens?
Are any of them black aliens? I don't remember any of them being black. One of them looked a lot like a Green Goblin looking guy, and I was really confused.
But he was like his skin was like the Green Goblin suit.
And his face and his ears. He looked like they just made a weird alien Green Goblin guy, and I'm like, why does he look like that?
They're like Spidey.
Scavenger said Mr. Stark. He said Spider-Man dies and Cap doesn't. He says I'm pissed. We'll get into all that.
Spider-Man deserves to die. I don't know.
Well, Spider-Man's death was interesting. So the way that Spider-Man died is big spoiler, and spoilers is in the title of this video if you didn't know. But Spider-Man is killed when Thanos gets all the Infinity Stones, and he kills half the universe. He snaps his fingers, and half the universe dies. So Spider-Man has spider sense.
Right.
So unlike most people who just turn to dust, he goes "Oh, I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Stark," or whatever. He feels it happening, his spider sense is freaking out, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. So he is able to do a last words thing before he dies because he knows he's going to die.
So he just says, "I'm not feeling so good," and then dies.
Nah, he's "I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Stark," and he's "I don't want to go, I don't want to go," and he hugs Iron Man, and Iron Man kind of lays him down on the ground, and Spider-Man's still freaking out, and then he calms down and just goes, "I'm sorry," and he into dust.
But Iron Man doesn't?
Iron Man does not get turned into
Why?
dust. So the way that Thanos has been working before he had Infinity Stones is he was just trying to do the same thing but a lot slower. So he would go from planet to planet, wipe out half the sentient population, and then just go to the next one and wipe out half the sentient population. So he feels like there aren't enough resources in the universe in order to support everyone. And with growing populations and shit, it just causes it to be a bigger constraint. But he's the universe would be fine if there were just less people who needed to use the resource. So he's just getting rid of half of all sentient life so that everyone has an abundance. There's no need to struggle for anything.
That makes a lot of sense, but also, why does he do it half of every person in every room? Why not this half and then the other half of a planet?
He just does half the universe. I mean, what are you talking about? His
Like,
planet thing that he did before?
Why on either front? Why does it kill one person in a room out of two people instead of just doing it geographically?
Half a continent, half a continent,
Yes.
half a...
Or half of the Earth?
He does half the whole planet whenever he normally does it.
But two people who were in the same geographic location didn't both get fucked.
Well, it's supposed to be random because he doesn't want it to be based on like this person is like a high class standard, so they don't go, or like he wants it to be an unbiased removal
They should
because he feels like it'll be
specifically remove
corrupt.
Tony Stark.
Like specifically gotten rid of him.
Just to would have saved so many resources.
Scavenger said, "I agree with Thanos, not just his methods." Oh wait, no, just not his methods. Instead, I read it the wrong way.
I agree with just Thanos and his methods and everything about him. He's a great guy. I love him.
Danica feels like Thanos picked who he got rid of.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I feel like it was pretty random.
I feel like he didn't. I feel like he didn't like Spider-Man because Spider-Man could web up anybody that he wanted. Thanos was like, that guy's too powerful. Like, fucking stickiness? Nobody wants to be sticky.
Spider-Man's pretty weak sauce. He doesn't really do anything in the movie for him.
He can become like Universal Spider-Man or Galactic Spider-Man or whatever.
Cosmic Spider-Man. And
Maybe.
that's not something that's been introduced yet.
But that'd be cool.
It would be
But he's
interesting.
dead now.
He's going to be back.
Forever.
That nigga had one movie.
Nah, he's dead forever. I don't feel so good, Captain.
It's time for NBA said the end sucked, where they all die. Scavenger said Spidey pissed off Thanos hardcore. Scavenger said the end was awesome. So what I would argue about like the end of the film, it definitely didn't suck. Like I disagree with that, but that is really subjective. Scavenger said it was actually comic accurate. So the way that I feel about the end of Infinity War is that for one, it's just setup. They're just setting up for like the next like Avengers film, which is going to take place and like resolve the conflict of the first one.
In October.
Two, it's not coming out this year. Don't give fake release dates. It's time for NBA said Star-Lord is a jerk. Star-Lord had a complex thing. He meets Thor, and everybody really brags on Thor, and they say that Star-Lord's getting fat and shit, and that he's a dude, not a real man, and he gets too self-conscious. So when he like runs into Thanos, and they're like, "We've almost beat Thanos," and then it's like Thanos killed Gamora, and Star-Lord's like, "What? I already have my masculinity threatening to kill my bitch," and then he fucks everything up, and Thanos gets away.
Good.
Yeah, Star-Lord is part of the problem, most deaf.
No, Star-Lord's great.
Scavenger said Star-Lord is now trash. Yeah, most
No,
people
he's
are
not.
not fucking with Star-Lord.
I love him, dude.
He's playing as he's just being the way he always is.
He's just being a little fucking cutie.
He's just being a little bitch. But that's how he always is. I can't get mad at him. That makes sense the way he reacted. Because he's petty. But he also is kind of a kid.
What's wrong with being?
He never really got raised. You know what I mean?
No, he did. He got raised by space pirates.
That's not a good. That's not like a real upbringing.
Yeah, it is. Did you see his dad died for him and shit?
You mean he killed his dad?
No.
Oh, you mean I'm Mary
His
Poppins,
real
y'all?
Yeah.
Let's see. Scavenger said, "Yo, Tom Holland improvised his death scene. That seems right,
Also,
That felt
Star-Lord's like
improvised.
half god. That's pretty cool.
but he can't use
But
his
he's just
god
like Thor.
half. But Thor's
Just
full
like
god.
Thor.
So, no.
Just like Thor.
Speaking of Thor, and this has been a little discordant. I was gonna like just explain the whole movie to you, but I'm fine with jumping off topics in the chat
Yep.
and your random interjections.
Right.
So when it comes to, oh wait, it's time for NBA said. I love the sneak peek at the end. I think he called Captain Marvel. He did call Captain Marvel. That's the logo that was on his communicator.
Nick Fury.
So if you know the symbol of Captain Marvel, it was very obvious that he called Captain Marvel. It's exactly what he did. Scavenger said, "Can't wait for Captain Marvel to kill Thanos with the help of Thor." I don't know exactly what will be the resolution
Why would
to
they
the
name a
Thanos
hero
issue.
after the name of their company?
Because Marvel is a word.
Captain Dyson Vacuum.
The Norden Fighter is a real thing. And they're like, named after Norden, the company that sponsors him. He's a local hero in Japan. Scavenger said Thor should have went for his hands. You know who
Touch
really should have
these
went for his
hands.
hands? So there's a scene where they're holding Thanos, and Thanos is like being manipulated by a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Mantis, who has the power to make people go to sleep. But he's like resisting it a little bit, but he can't like fully
He's
resist
resisting
it.
arrest.
He's resisting rest. Yeah.
Arrest.
So
Arrest.
when they're like holding him up, They're like, we gotta pull the glove off him. We gotta pull the Infinity Gauntlet off him. But Iron Man and Spider Man are like trying to pull it, and they're weak as fuck, and they can't pull the gauntlet off.
Iron Man and Spider Man
Together are trying to pull it. But what they should have done is just had Doctor Strange open like his sling ring portal thing, and he's been shown to be able to push it. So push Thanos' arm into the thing, and they've shown that when you close the portal, it will like cut whatever's in the way, and close it on the nigga's arm, and you cut the hand off that has the glove,
But they don't want to hurt him.
and then he can't use it.
They don't want to hurt him. Why don't they just kill him?
Why don't they just kill Thanos?
Yeah.
That also would have made sense. Just like murdering him while he's there. They're like, we gotta take the glove off. No one's like, why don't we just murder him right now?
That would stop all of it.
Yeah. I mean, there are multiple problems that I have with the movie.
My
Scavenger,
problem that I have with the movie.
you haven't seen.
I feel like my problem I have with the movie is that they don't show how much better Star-Lord is than Thor. It's just a fact.
So, Scavenger said Mantis can read emotions and knock people out. Scavenger said they should have aged Thanos to a baby. Or aged Thor, since Asgardians get stronger with age. For one, when it comes to like time manipulation, because Doctor Strange at the beginning of the movie has the time stone, I don't understand like why one, at the beginning when everyone attacked, why Doctor Strange didn't immediately go, okay, time stone, I'm gonna set up that loop thing that I did, spoilers for Doctor Strange, at the end of my own movie, where it's like if I fail, the loop will start over, and then I didn't actually fail, and I remember everything from before, and I can just do it again.
I'll tell you why.
Because that's like the perfect like plot point kind of
Because
thing.
he's strange.
And then the other thing that's dumb about it is that Doctor Strange at a certain point in the movie, I shit you not, sits down and uses the time stone to look into like over 4 million possible futures. And they're like, did you see any where we won? And he's like, I only saw one where we won. And I feel like what he did is he sat down and he just looked until he saw one, like exactly one, and then was like, okay, I guess that's the only one that'll work.
Also, why do you just go to 4 million? Like, if you can do 4 million that quick, why didn't you just be like, I'm gonna do a lot of them?
Yeah, I feel like he should have just went hard. Also, in the Doctor Strange movie, they establish like there are all these like parallel worlds in the multiverse, and with his sling ring, he can kind of just make a portal wherever he wants. Why can't he do stuff like, oh, this is a really big situation where we need help? I'll just make a portal to the world where people will help me. Or I'll just make a portal to like a place where I can send Thanos and he can't harm anyone. Because that's just what that reality does. Or like, because Doctor Strange just can do too much for them to just not like address it. Let's see. Scavenger said because plot armor, then he said 14,608,000. Only one they win. But I still feel like he should just do more.
Maybe he saw the one where they won like second, and he was like, I'm gonna keep looking. And then he went through 14 million and was like, I didn't, guys.
Yeah, I'm tired of looking.
Yeah.
You don't have to be tired of looking.
He's
You have
like,
a time stone.
No, but he's sitting in his mind, like flicking through TV channels, like fucking.
Also, in the Doctor Strange movie, do they say how many universes there are that exist?
Over 4.
Because if it's, like, actually an infinite number, then he should just, like, have a world that he can, like, look to, and it's like, we would help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly greater than 4.
I agree. Doctor Strange multiverse. Right now I'm Googling it. Let's see how the MCU multiverse, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So I'm glad that we talked about the ending in the movie.
Let's see, thoughts shape reality. This universe is one of an infinite number, worlds without end. Yeah, what the fuck? He could have just called for help. They say infinite in the movie. I just read a quote from the Ancient One from the film.
Good.
Also,
Good.
are you not feeling the discussion? You don't seem really, like, into it.
I just feel like I don't like the concept of the movie.
I haven't even had a real chance to describe it to you. We've just gone on to like different things.
Okay.
So, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy all end up going on a story plot where it's like Thanos is coming for the Time Stone because he believes that one of his servants is taking it to him on the planet Titan. They defeat the servant on the way to Titan, and then Doctor Strange is like, so we should get the fuck out. And then Iron Man's like, no, we shouldn't. We're going to stay on Titan, and when Thanos shows up, we're going to beat his ass.
Iron Man?
He's the one who, like, he's
Why
like...
is Iron Man? Like, I know all the cosmic stuff. Like, I'm a billionaire.
Let's see. Scavenger said, bruh, Black Panther and Captain America race to fight bad guys. He said Cap just did the race. Let's see. So, fuck.
They went on Titan. And
Yeah.
They were like, why is he on a moon?
So that's one of the storylines. Another storyline is all the Asgardians got fucked for real. Even Loki's dead. That happens at like the beginning of the movie. And Hulk was with the Asgardians due to what happened in Thor Ragnarok.
Do they guard ass?
Oh, watch out. Brace your eyes. So, Hulk was with the Asgardians back then, or whatever. Thor now has lightning powers.
Because of Thor Ragnarok.
Thor now has lightning powers that he doesn't really use inside the
Ragnarok.
movie, for real, which is dumb. So, because of all that, Thanos goes for them first, gets one of the Infinity Stones. Thor's like, you killed my brother, I'm gonna fucking kill you for that. Thanos is like, no, you're not, you're a little bitch, and he leaves. So Thor's like, I need a new weapon, and I'm gonna fucking kill Thanos, because he essentially killed off my whole race, and I'm tired of his bullshit. So that's like Thor's arc. Like, he's gonna get his weapon, he's gonna come back, he's gonna kill Thanos. He's gonna give a fuck about Thanos. So the other story plot is Heimdall dies, but before he dies, he sends Hulk to Earth, and Hulk's like, I gotta get the Avengers back together because they broke up after Civil War, but he doesn't know that. He thinks he's just gonna be like, hey guys, it's fine, and no one fucks with him. So he's like, I need to get everybody back together. Vision has an Infinity Stone. We need to keep Thanos from getting it. And the plan everyone has is maybe there's a way for us to save...
Is Heimdall?
He keeps biting into the M&M, and then the insides will fall out onto his lap. And I'm just like, why? That seems so controllable and avoidable.
Is Heimdall? Is Heimlich the dude played by dude?
I can't remember how to say his name. It's not Eldris Eba or whatever, but it's that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's not how you say his name.
Yeah, it is.
Scavenger said Stormbreaker, which is Thor's new weapon he ends up getting, part Groot, part God-killing metal or whatever. So it's like a really powerful axe. But anyways, oh yeah, their plan is we should find a way to separate the Mind Stone from Vision without killing him. And then once we do that, we can destroy the Mind Stone and we don't have to worry about Vision getting hurt. The only reason they can destroy the Mind Stone is because Scarlet Witch's powers are like comparable to the stone. So she's able to like use her power to destroy it. So the other storyline is Gamora was raised by Thanos when she was like younger, but she hates him, but she still sees him as like a dad. And she's going through this whole, like, I have to kill my father, but I'm not really a big fan of that idea. Like, I don't like him, but that doesn't mean that we don't still have, like, a history. And also, she knows the location of one of the Infinity Stones. And she tells Peter, Star-Lord, like, hey, if Thanos gets a hold of me, kill me.
Who?
Because she doesn't want him to somehow get the information from her, Thanos.
Does he do it?
Yeah, Thanos totally gets the information out.
Oh,
He
I thought
tortures her
Star-Lord
sister.
killed-
Oh, Star-Lord shoots his gun, but the lasers are turned to bubbles because Thanos has the reality gem, and he can just be like, it's bubbles, instead of a laser gun.
That's stupid.
Reality gem just kind of lets you do whatever you
No,
want.
why'd he do it into Like, if he wants to be a big, scary, bad guy, why is he like Bubbles? Why is he not like, it popped up back inside his head?
It popped up back inside.
Like, the laser disappears, pops up behind his head, and shoots him in the back of the head.
Oh, like kill Peter with his own laser blast?
Yeah.
Because you can just do whatever you want with reality
Yeah.
stone? Because Thanos says, I like you, like to Star-Lord, and he leaves.
So then why didn't he like have him shoot and then have him kill everyone else in the team with the laser gun and then be like, I like you, and then leave?
Because he turned Drax into like this weird like stone thing that just crumbles to the ground, and he turns Mantis into like this weird papery thing. Like he already fucked them over.
But why didn't he just do everyone at once?
I'll be right back.
Like,
I got dark.
that's one thing that I don't like about like superhero villains is they're never like, I'm gonna just kill everyone at once.
Block the camera view so that they don't all get blinded by
You guys are gonna get blinded.
Just block the view.
Blinded.
You didn't block shit. I watched the screen light up with the white. Scavenger said, yeah, why Bubbles? He also said they should plant Thor's weapon because Groot's one of the characters that died. So they'd be able to bring Groot back that way. I do think that is how they're going to end up bringing Groot back. It just makes sense.
I just don't understand why they don't go. So
Thanos doesn't actually care about the Avengers. As a big thing I think a lot of people miss. He just wants to just kill half the universe, and he does it. He does the thing he wanted, but he has no greater ambition, which I know is stupid. Baron Zemo has a similar problem in Civil War.
But what I'm saying is, if that's what he wants to do, and he doesn't care about the Avengers, why didn't he just kill all the Avengers at once and leave?
Well, to be honest, Thanos has this weird complex where he's like, I need all the Infinity Stones so that I can kill half the universe. But he doesn't. One of the first stone he has is power. And it shows that, like, if he runs power through stuff, just like raw power, he can just, like, destroy things. And when he snaps his finger with the Infinity Gauntlet, he just, like, turns half the... Like, if you can just target anyone anywhere...
I guess his idea is, I want to destroy half the population of the universe, and I want all the Infinity Stones to make sure no one can ever reverse my shit. So
just destroy all the other ones the same way you destroy everything else.
Maybe they can't affect each other.
But the whole idea that Scarlet Witch can destroy an Infinity Stone is based on the idea that, like, if your power is comparable to an Infinity Stone, you can destroy it. I have heard Danica and Hall argue maybe it's because she got her power from the Mind Stone that she can then destroy the Mind Stone specifically rather than any one of them. I disagree with that, though. I think her power is on level with a stone, so she can just destroy stones. I don't think it's just the Mind Stone exclusively.
Why didn't he just kill her?
He doesn't know all that. Thanos he's not like, I've been watching all of you and I know what you're doing. He's just like, you're in my way, and he just gets the stone. But I feel like with his, Scavenger said, gotta go, do homework, have fun. Okay, peace, Scavenger. So, when it comes to, like, his stones, let's argue. No, you can't even.
Let's argue.
So I was about to say, like, let's argue he can't hit anyone he wants with a stone without having the space stone. But he hits, like, the spaceship he's in without, like, touching it necessarily. He just kind of goes, like, and now the spaceship is being destroyed by power. And he, like, teleports out. He did have the space stone when he did that. But let's argue he needs the space stone. It doesn't matter. Because he can... Let's say with the space stone, you can target whatever you want in existence with another stone because it can, like, move the effect through space. Then just run power through half the sentient beings in the universe, and you kill all of them.
Can he use the power in Space Stone's powers to combine them?
Yeah, he can combine any of the stone's uses together.
No, but can he actually mold them into one stone?
Into one stone? He hasn't tried to do anything like that.
That'd just be a lot more effective if he was just like, I'm going to just mold all the stones I get into one stone, and then just have the one stone, and then whenever someone tries to kill me and I can't beat them, just break it.
With itself?
Yeah.
I mean, I want him to more or less just say, I kill half the universe just using like power, or if you need power and space, and then afterwards destroy the space stone with the power stone. And now there is only one stone. You don't have to worry about anyone getting their hands on any of the other stones. You have the only stone. The stones are the most powerful things in the universe.
But that limits your power to the power stone power.
You don't need anything else.
But you could have anything else.
But you don't need anything else.
You don't need it, but that's like, I don't need anything but a wrench, but it'd be helpful.
So
if I had a dishwasher, like
the big thing about him though is when he like kills half the universe, Thanos doesn't go, and now that half the universe is gone, I'm gonna do some grand thing.
He's just done.
He goes to like a planet because he like told someone earlier what he was gonna do. He goes to a planet and he watches the sunrise and he smiles. It's all he wanted to do. That was like his whole objective. So he did it. Baron Zemo, I'm upset about this personally because Civil War is still like my favorite Marvel movie. Baron Zemo also won, where he's like, I have a thing that I want, and I'm the villain, and I just want that thing, and then afterwards I don't want anything else. But instead of watching a sunrise, Homeboy was gonna fucking kill himself, and Black Panther's like, no! But it's like, Thanos and Baron Zemo are both like, we're one-track mind niggas, and as soon as we get what we want, we have one other thing that we want, and then we have nothing else that we desire. So it wouldn't matter. Like as soon as he'd been like, now half the universe is destroyed, right? Like I like kill half the sentient life, and all the other stones are gone, so no one can like just like reverse it because all the other things of equal power are gone. Now I'll just chill.
So that's what he did essentially.
But he did, because he went through all the trouble of getting all the things. But he started with power. It was the first one he had.
Because he wanted to make sure he fucking won.
But you could make sure you won with that. No one's ready for you.
But they wanted to make a movie.
Well, yeah, I get that. Like, from a movie standpoint of we have to, like, tell a story, I get why he didn't just do it. But it's just dumb that he didn't do it. He could have easily done it. That's more my argument.
I really think it'd be an interesting superhero movie if, like, right at the beginning, the villain just won.
Yeah, and they could have done that.
Yeah.
Is like a part of that argument. The movie could have started with half the life in the universe has been like taken out, and Thanos is already uber powerful because he has the Power Stone, but now we want to prevent him from getting more. It could be a thing where Thanos is like, now I've done my thing, and now I'm gonna start like destroying the stones as well, and you could see how the heroes react to it. Because at first they could be like,
this is the only way to undo what he did, or whatever.
And then it's like gone, and it's like, oh no, we gotta find like an actual solution.
Yeah.
Essentially, the process just could have been expedited. If he just wins at the beginning, the movie could be like, we're gonna, never mind, oh, Vision's dead, Doctor Strange can't do time anymore, you know.
Yeah, but I also think it would have kind of sucked if they would have just used the plot, if they went that direction and then went, all the stones are destroyed besides the Power Stone. So we just happen to have this other thing that works like one that can reverse all the stuff, but you have to kill Thanos in order to get it, or you can use it to kill Thanos with the powers. Like,
well, they have one dumb plot device thing, like what you're describing, and that's the Dawnbreaker.
That's the weapon?
Yeah, so the Dawnbreaker is Thor's weapon. So the Infinity Gauntlet was made by a giant dwarf who's just the guy from Game of Thrones, yeah. Peter Dinklage or whatever, but they made him a giant. It's funny. So, because the gauntlet was made by him, he's like, I'm like the best blacksmith in the entire universe.
Oh, is he the guy who does the sink float thing with the universe?
No, you're thinking about DC Comics. So just a totally different thing.
Could be the same guy.
So,
Peter Dinklage.
So Thor is like, I know who he is because he makes like all the god weapon stuff. So I'm just like super aware of him. So I'm gonna visit him. When he learns that he made the Infinity Gauntlet, he's like, why'd you do that? And he's like, well, Thanos came here and he was like, I'm gonna kill everybody on this fucking planet unless somebody makes me this gauntlet. And he's like, well, I'll make you the gauntlet so you don't kill everybody on the fucking planet. And then Thanos gets the gauntlet and Thanos is like, thank you. Now I'm gonna kill everybody on your fucking planet except you because you made my gauntlet. And I'm going to ruin your hands so you can't do blacksmithing anymore. So I don't have to worry about you making some other shit. And then I'm going to leave. So Thor helps him like fix his blacksmithing thing, which involves him taking the full force of like a neutron star directly, which is really stupid. Like they power scale Thor really high. They're like, he can take the direct force of a neutron star
To
or
make
whatever.
the sword.
So it's an axe, and to make it, they had to like melt this like god killing metal, but the metal requires such a high temperature they needed like the star thing. But the thing that focuses the energy of the star was broken to where like it couldn't hold itself open. So instead of building something,
like, held
Thor goes and he lets it shoot him directly, and it warms the kiln thing and melts the metal. But Thor is like really hot afterwards, and he has burns. Ah, man, that really fucked you up, Thor.
Thor, in 25 years, you're going to develop aggressive god cancer.
Thor, and right now you have. But they acted like he did get really fucked up. But then the blacksmith is like, he needs the Dawnbreaker. Like he acts like, because you have the do I have a booger?
You got it.
That was the worst way to realize it, is to like look down at your hand after you say you got it. Also, just say it. It's fine. It's more ridiculous for you to just keep doing that. And then I'm just like, blah, 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 talking. But anyways, thank you for the support. So they act like the Dawnbreaker just heals them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you have the axe, so you don't have to worry about the neutrino star thing anymore. That doesn't have any permanent consequences.
Well, also, so they fixed the dude's hands, or his hands are still just fucked?
So he already had like a sculpt made for the melted metal for the axe. Like he was already trying to build like an axe. Not to stop Thanos, he just was like, I want to make the ultimate god weapon. That was like his passion as like a blacksmith. And he's like, I made the kiln, but that nigga Thanos ruined my hands, so I can't finish it, and he ruined my device, so I can't finish. Like I'm double fucked. So what they did is, because he already had the mold, they like poured the metal into the mold, and the nigga just drops it. He lets it like fall, and the mold breaks, but the axe is still there. And he's like, where's the handle? I don't know where I put the fucking handle. And Groot chops his own arm off, and they make that the handle. And then that's what helps like revive Thor or whatever. Prometheus Welsh says, real life superhero, says it was a great movie, can't wait for part 2. I think part 2 will definitely be interesting. But yes, it is as stupid as it sounds. The whole like, he gets the Dawnbreaker to recover, and is Groot's arm. I thought the Groot's arm thing was okay.
I feel like there should have been more reason for it.
More reason for why Groot cuts his own arm off.
Specifically for that, yeah. Like why they couldn't have just been like, it's the thing.
Prometheus said, yeah, pretty much. Well, it seemed
or
like
if
Thor
they
was...
have the cast, why they just didn't make the whole thing.
They were separate pieces. So Thor...
They couldn't have just done it twice, because it barely hurt Thor.
Well, it seemed like Thor was gonna die or something if he didn't get the Dawn. Like that's what they were acting like, oh, but it didn't look like it inconvenienced him that much.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the handle? He needs the Dawnbreaker. So Groot essentially was doing it like, well, I'm a tree. You know, like him losing his arm isn't a big deal. He has it later. He made his arm longer. Like he like grows it and then goes shh. And then it's like, well, we know he can just grow it, so it doesn't matter. It wasn't like a huge sacrifice. Even though it was a sacrifice, he still had to go, well, fuck it, I guess I gotta cut my arm. So it wasn't too bad, but it's still weird. Prometheus said they honestly should have made it more interesting. Not that it wasn't interesting enough, but I feel that they could have made it better. I don't know. Scarlet Witch to me is really powerful. And I feel like she could have, by herself, stopped Infinity War. And Ant-Man's not in the movie, but he, by himself, could have stopped it, too. Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Ant-Man could shrink Thanos, down to like such a small level that he can't do anything.
I mean, would that make the power not work? Because it seems like it still worked the same.
Well, if he shrunk like Thanos and not the gauntlet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if he shrunk the gauntlet, because Thanos, it would no longer be like on his hand. It would be like, that's like now the size of like an atom or something. Like you just don't have access to it.
And then he'd be like, it's
Or if you
we
just
have to stop Ant-Man, but he's the size of an atom. That's the fucking...
Thanos also wouldn't be able to do anything if like one of the Infinity Gems was like really small.
Ant-Man's like, we have to save my daughter. And everyone's like, your daughter's not in danger. And he's like, we have to save my daughter.
So he could have shrunk an Infinity Gem, and he's like been to the quantum level before, like Ant-Man. So he just shrinks the gem to quantum level, right? And then it's like, well, now that the gem is all the way down to like quantum level, Thanos could use the Space Stone and be like, I will bring the gem to me. And he'll like do it and then see nothing. And he'll be like, why isn't it working? And he can just keep trying as much as he wants. And that shit, it's always appearing, but he'll never see it.
Yeah. My whole thing. Would you consider the gems carries?
So, when it comes to Scarlet Witch and how she was solo Thanos, it's pretty simple. She has telekinesis, and she has the ability to manipulate people's minds. So you can easily just be like, yo, Thanos, take off your clothes. Or like, yo, Thanos, I'm going to give you a vision where you see yourself like winning, but while you're in your like winning vision, I'm going to make you take your glove off. They're just really simple solutions. I still honestly can't tell if you're feeling the combo or not. You feel really like, at least you appear like, I'm waiting for it to be over. Seems to be like your vibe.
It's just, the more you describe the movie, the more I'm like, I don't think this would be worth a movie ticket.
I enjoyed the film. I still stand by Civil War being my favorite film out of like the Marvel movie universe. It was just a very like well done movie, and I prefer the villain of Baron Zemo over Thanos. Thanos fighting the Hulk was a really cool scene, and it's so soon. Like you would expect that to be a like near the end of the film thing, but it happens really fast, and you can quickly tell that Hulk, if he is stronger than Thanos, is like slight. Like it's not like a huge difference. And Thanos just knows how to fight, which is like his advantage. So Hulk gets like a free hit on Thanos because he like surprises him. And then Thanos' like gang is like, yo, what the fuck? And one of them's like, calm down, let him have his fun. And Thanos, he like legitimately just starts boxing him. So like Hulk goes in for a hit, and Thanos dodges and goes boom. And then Hulk goes in for another one, he's like boom, 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 boom. And he like just legitimately beats the shit out of him. And it's like, whoa, like I actually really liked that scene. It really set like, here's the par. And Hulk's not here. And Thanos finishes Hulk by holding him over his head, and he like slams him into the ground. It's such a like hard, definitive like defeat. And for the rest of the film, when Banner tries to transform, he partially transforms, and Hulk goes, no. And I think Hulk wants to be trained in how to fight. I think Hulk doesn't. He's like, I just got my ass beat once, never again. Somebody help me. Prometheus said, anybody else cry when Spider-Man died? I didn't cry in Infinity War, like at all. My friend Danica cried when Gamora died. There's a scene where Thanos is trying to get the Soul Stone, and there's like Red Skull is there, and Red Skull is like the keeper over the Soul Stone, and he's like, you have to sacrifice someone, the person you love most, in order to get the Soul Stone.
And he ran up and he's like, I have a sacrifice.
And Gamora essentially like smiles and laughs, and she goes, the universe has finally like spited you, Thanos. You've tried all this and what you claim is to like help the universe, but in the end, the universe has denied you because you love no one. And Thanos like starts to like cry a little bit, like he tears up. And Gamora's like, really? The tears of defeat kind of thing? And then Red Skull's like, the tears are not for him. And Thanos, throughout the film, has shown he does see Gamora as a daughter. But Gamora just detests Thanos. It's like, you killed half my planet. You took me in. You trained me to be this killing machine when that's not really what I wanted to be. And you act like I want to be you, but I don't want to be you. And Thanos is like, but there was a whole period of time where we like fought together and we were legitimately like a thing. And you definitely could just be the next me. You could be like my heir. You're essentially who I consider to be like my heir. And you should like take up that throne. So Thanos, when he's like crying, he's like, I guess I don't have an heir anymore. And he throws that bitch off a cliff and she dies. But you can tell it like legitimately did emotionally like hurt him to do that.
That would have been hilarious if Red Skull was like, it wasn't for him, and then Red Skull turns around and he's like, he's got it. And then Red Skull's like, wait, what the fuck?
Thanos is like, you're the only one I ever loved, and Red Skull's like, I just met you. I honestly thought that Thanos was gonna jump off the cliff.
I'd love to see just a bad guys movie.
Like
but
just
not, yeah, but not like a thing where it's like the bad guys are like not in
Suicide
yeah, not where it's like the bad guys are trying to do a good guy thing. Like where it just shows the emotional deepness of the bad guys and like the reason that they're bad guys and like shows like all of their shit as you would portray it for a good guy, but just bad shit, like just throughout the whole movie.
Excuse me. Well, I said excuse me, but excuse me. There we go. I hadn't burped yet.
You were ready.
Yeah. So everyone you talk to about Infinity War so far, except me, and I say you, but I've talked to, has said the Infinity War movie is about Thanos. It follows Thanos, and it's really his story. But I would disagree, because it's not like
just that it's
yeah,
like
it's
all
not
the
just
Avengers and shit.
It's all these different storylines, and it's not all the Avengers are gathered together in one place. It's like these guys over here doing this, these guys over here doing this, and you follow all these storylines. And it's not like what you said, where it's like you only have enough time for like 3 minutes for everyone. It's like no, everyone kind of gets their own slice. They're like all in teams, and the slices are pretty fair, and you get like a good amount of everybody, which is why it's not like a Thanos film. It tells a good story with Thanos because you do get to see like when Thanos was younger on his planet, they had like an overpopulation problem and like people were getting fucked over. And he wasn't like young, like a little bitty kid. He was like old enough to like propose like policy and shit. And he's like, I believe what we need to do is like kill off half the population, but we should do it randomly. And it would solve like this overpopulation issue. And everyone's like, you're a fucking madman. We're not just going to commit genocide. And he's like, and then they didn't do it. And now my planet is like, everybody's dead.
Why
it's a
didn't they
shithole
just
or whatever.
expand to other planets?
Like just like travel out.
Yeah.
They just let themselves die. And Thanos is like, and that's the whole universe's problem.
No.
That's the problem.
No. So Thanos is like, he's like in a Greek council thing, and he's like, what if we kill off half the population? Everybody's like, what the fuck? That's crazy. We're just gonna starve to death. And there's a dude like in the back who's like, what about a space program? And they're like, shut up.
Has anyone heard of NASA?
And they're like, no.
NASA, stop trying to name things after yourself. Starve like the rest of us.
And he's like, I'm sorry.
But yeah, it is stupid. People have also said things like, after he got all the Infinity Stones, why'd he kill
Also,
half the
he
universe?
goes into space, right? While he was traveling space and shit, why wasn't he like, it would have made more sense for people to just, there are all these empty planets. Like,
a lot of people are like, when he got all the stones, why did he like snap his fingers to kill half the universe?
Also,
Why not just make more resources?
right. Also, he saved his own daughter. So why didn't he just save the planet?
He didn't save his own daughter. So Gamora he took from another planet. Like he didn't fuck anybody to make Gamora.
He
So
tried, but they were
he
didn't
did.
want to kill everybody.
Yeah, he did the whole like kill half the planet thing.
And
But
then she was
Gamora
there
comes up to him,
and is like,
not scared of shit, and is like, where's my mom? She has like a hard, like, I don't give a fuck, like, who you are, where's my mom? But she's like 4. So he like looks at that and goes like, like, I'm like fucking your whole planet right now. You couldn't give a damn. And he's like, you should be like my daughter, essentially. He doesn't say that, of course.
Be my daughter. And she's like, that's not what I asked you.
He like pulls out like this blade and he like teaches her about it, and he puts the blade on his finger, and he talks about how like the universe needs a balance. If you put too much on one end or too much on the other, everything falls apart.
And she's like, where's my mom?
And he's like, here, you try. And he like puts it on her finger, and she's trying to balance it out. It is really fucking big, like for her. So she's trying to balance it, and as she's trying to do that, there's like a firing squad like on the other that's just like about to shoot down a bunch of like her people. So they go, now you will be sacrificed for the sake of your, like one of his like servants do it, and you hear like and you see it, and Gamora like tries to turn, and Thanos goes, no, focus on the and it's just happening behind her, like the genocide of her people, and she like balances it, and he says, see? And like that was the beginning of like their relationship and how it developed. There's a scene where Gamora runs up to Thanos, stabs him like in the neck, or like slashes open his neck and like stabs him in the chest, and that nigga like falls and dies. And she does it with the knife that like he gave her. But it's revealed like a few seconds later, he already got the reality stone, and he like made an illusion of himself. So she just thought she killed him. But when she cried after killing him, like it kind of like broke her. He was like, I knew you still cared, and like reveals everything, and everybody's like, shit.
That's good.
But I feel like you would enjoy the movie for the fact that it is pretty much like the Thanos show, but it's not. Because one of my friends told me that before I went to go see it, like, oh, this is all about Thanos, and it follows Thanos. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I saw it in the movie, and I was like, that's not what this is.
That's the thing. I would just love that. Like, well, not just about Thanos. I'd really love it if it was like, Thanos and Red Skull, best buddies traveling around the universe, killing every planet, telling them they're gonna be sacrificed, showing every culture. All the cultural genocides going to a new culture, realizing we could have helped our own planet by just traveling.
You also have his Black Order minions, but I don't like them because they seem like a waste. He gets the Space Stone at the very beginning of the movie. He already had the Power Stone.
Right.
So I don't get why Thanos is like, I'll send a group of you to Earth to get those Infinity Stones, while I go look for the other ones. Because the Space Stone lets
several on one planet. Like
there
I feel like that. I feel like that's where you'd want to go though. If there's like a larger amount on one planet, you're like, oh, go there.
Well, the thing that I didn't like about it is that like you don't have to send anyone. The Space Stone lets you teleport. He can just go himself at any time, and he'd just be more efficient.
Yeah.
He just would show up and just be like, "Thank you."
Yeah. Maybe he's like, I don't want to get Gamora.
She's not on Earth.
No.
Guardians of the Galaxy are in space.
No, but when she cuts his neck, maybe he's like, I don't want to get Gamora.
By who?
Gamora.
She's not on Earth.
By someone who could have a knife. He shows up and someone's like,
I got a
waiting.
knife. His power thing, if he just surges it through, he would just die. He like surges it into like Thor's head at one point, but he does it as a like, give me the Space Stone, Loki. And then he's like, I imagine you have a preference, like his life for giving me the Space Stone, and Loki's like, fucking kill him. He's like, I hate that nigga. And like, Thanos is doing it like slowly. Like you can tell he's purposely trying to torture Thor and not kill him. Mm. But I imagine if he wanted to kill him, he just was just, and then he just would have like went into like dust. He would just kill him.
He should.
But Loki actually did have the Space Stone, and he did give it up.
Why?
So Loki, throughout the films, like the Thor movies, they've essentially established they have like this brotherly bond kind of thing. And even though Loki will constantly try to one-up Thor, he doesn't actually want him to die. Like he's had like other times where it's like, I could have killed you right then. Be lucky of my mercy kind of thing. But you can tell he's actually a little bitch. He's like, oh, like I actually do care for my brother, but I'll never like really show it. But when it looked like Thor was about to die from the Thanos thing, Loki's like, fuck. And he's like, wait, kind of thing. And then Thor's like, Thanos, you're wasting your time. We don't even have the Space Stone. And then Loki's like, And then Thor's like, "Oh fuck you, dude!" Like, and he gives Thanos the space stone or whatever. That's like happens at the beginning of
That
the
would have
movie.
been hilarious if Loki just kept lying and he's like, "Yeah, you're wasting your time." And he like fucking.
So Loki does try to pull some fuck shit.
No, I mean the whole time. Like even when he's like, "I'm gonna kill him," he's like, "You were way too. I don't know what you're talking about."
Like he also says that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't have it. You should just let him die. So Loki is like, hey, I've been to Earth before. I can like act as your guide on Earth. Don't kill me, kind of thing.
And he's like, "Maybe."
And Thanos, like Loki's like pledging his allegiance and shit, but he like makes a dagger, like behind his back. He like
Why
summons
does he
one.
pledge allegiance behind his back?
Well, he's about to betray him, and he goes up like he's gonna like shake his hand or some shit, like he's gonna stab him, and Thanos is like, no. Like Thanos is like with a knife, and like, he just like cucks the shit out of him. So Thanos isn't like a complete idiot. He's just not creative. Like me and Dozer went in on how like each of the individual stones seem to be able to do whatever you would want with it, and then he just doesn't use them for that. Reality seems to just let him actually do whatever he wants for the most part. So I don't get it. And sometimes it seems like reality does stuff that's like, this is like temporary, and other times it's like, but it doesn't seem like it has to be. Like I don't know. I think one of the coolest things Thanos does in the whole film is he uses power to break up like a moon, and then he uses space to drag the moon's like pieces as he punches his fist, and he creates like a meteor storm thing with like a punch. I was like, this is fighting game shit. I fuck with that. Super move. By the way, when he stops Loki, he doesn't grab his arm. He uses the Space Stone to hold it in place, because he can just manipulate it like that. Space Stone does whatever it wants as long as it's like somewhat related to space. So it's just like it stops in space. Bitch. And then he chokes Loki to death. When he chokes Loki to death, by the way, they don't cut away. They don't do like anything to hide it. He grabs Loki's throat. Loki struggles to breathe. His face turns red. His eyes bulge. He says some shit like, "You'll never be a god." And Thanos crushes his neck, and you hear his neck break, and he walks up to Thor, and he throws... We had a disconnect. I wonder how much they heard of the fucking Loki thing. Anyways,
disconnected.
he broke his neck, threw him on the ground. So, one of the Black Order members is telekinetic, which makes him like really powerful. He doesn't seem to have a limit on it. He can just do whatever he wants by moving shit around. He's holding like Thor around like a bunch of like spaceship pieces. Like he made like a prison out of it, and it's like binding him where he can move his head, but he can't move anything else.
Why didn't he throw him with Thor? It would have been a bigger dick move.
Just at his exposed head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like,
would have
here's
been
your
a pretty
brother's dead
dick.
body.
Yeah.
Or like rip his head off and then just like stick it in his face. I know.
It's already kind of a dick move thing. Also, my phone's on 15%.
Alright, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna plan on doing a series of Infinity War videos in the future where I discuss individual components of the film. But yeah, what do you think of the random ramblings we've talked about? We haven't really covered much.
I think it's interesting. I don't like the concept of the movie. I don't think I would enjoy the movie.
I don't know. It was one of those, like, it's hard to say.
I mean, I didn't like any of the other Avengers movies.
Civil War was tight. That's a Captain America film, technically. But it
even
should
still,
just be
it
an Avengers
shows the
movie.
Avengers, and
Yeah.
really-
I don't get why it's considered a Cap movie, to be honest. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, ring that bell so you know if I'm where we do these live streams. If you're new to Infinity War, make sure to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and have a wonderful day. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jeb, like the one and only here with... Logging out. Peace.